All right, let's jump right in. We're going to break down a really powerful idea from the Harvard Business Review that asks a huge question for pretty much any business today. In a world that is just obsessed with automation, how does that human touch actually become your secret weapon, your biggest competitive advantage?
And this is the real puzzle, right? We're all living through it. On one hand, automation is amazing. It gives us incredible speed and efficiency. But on the other hand, we're still human, and we crave genuine connection. So, can those two things even coexist? Or is this relentless drive for automation just slowly erasing the human element from everything?
I mean, you've seen this everywhere. For the last decade, it feels like AI chatbots and automated systems have become the default for customer service. The goal is always the same: streamline, automate, get rid of friction. But as we race towards this ideal of perfect efficiency, we're finding out there's a pretty significant hidden cost.
And that cost? It's the risk of basically deleting humanity from the whole equation. When a business gets laser-focused on just automation, it can become cold, transactional, and honestly, pretty forgettable. The solution, which this article proposes, is something they call deep hospitality.
So what is that exactly? Well, deep hospitality isn't about the surface-level stuff, like warm towels or fancy mints. It's a core belief. A belief that every single interaction, big or small, is a chance to honor the dignity of the person you're serving. This isn't some checklist in a training manual. It's a fundamental mindset that has to be baked into the entire organization.
Okay, so this slide just lays it out perfectly. You've got two paths a business can take. The easy path, the default path, is to build a transaction machine. It's all just functional buttons and automated responses. But then you have the Four Seasons path. They did something different. They used technology not to replace their people, but to extend their reach, to give them superpowers. They made sure a real, thoughtful person was always just a text away, ready to provide the kind of service that no algorithm could ever dream of.
So how do you actually build this? Well, it all starts with a massive mindset shift. And I mean for everyone in the company, from the C-suite right down to the person sweeping the floors. It's this idea of understanding purpose over function.
Let's break this down, because it's so important. An employee's function is simply what they do. It's their job description. Change light bulbs, check in a guest, process a return. But their purpose, that's the why. It's the higher reason they are even there. And when your employees really get their purpose, everything changes. And honestly, the best way to get this is with a story. Check this out.
So, picture this. You've got a maintenance engineer. He's up on a ladder in a hallway at the Ritz-Carlton. His function, his task for the day, is to change light bulbs. Simple, straightforward job.
Then he spots a mother coming back from the pool. Her hands are completely full. She's juggling towels and pool toys, trying to manage two little kids. She's just totally struggling. Now, this employee, who is not a customer-facing bellhop or concierge, doesn't even think twice. He climbs right down from that ladder, takes all her stuff, and makes sure that family gets back to their room all settled.
And this quote, man, this just sums up the entire idea. When somebody asked him about it later, this is what he said. His function was his task, but his purpose was to create an incredible experience for that guest. You can't write a script for that. You can only create a culture that encourages it. So the big question is, how do you build a system that lets people act like that?
Right. So it's not enough to just have a nice idea or a mission statement. You need a real system to back it up. The article lays out 3 key disciplines that are required to make deep hospitality a reality, day in and day out. Okay, so the system is built on 3 big ideas. First, you have to radically trust your employees' judgment. Second, you've got to change how you measure success, so you're not just measuring speed, but connection. And third, you need to completely rethink who you bring on board in the first place. Let's dig into each of these. So, what does trusting your employees actually look like in practice? Well, here's a famous example. The Ritz-Carlton empowers every single employee, from housekeeping to the general manager, to spend up to $2,000 per incident to solve a guest's problem or create a moment of delight. And they don't have to ask a manager for permission. Now look, it's not really about the $2,000. It's about the message it sends. It tells every employee, we trust you, do the right thing. Period.
All right, number 2, you have to create some breathing room in your metrics. Because you know what the biggest enemy of real hospitality is? It's this obsession with pure, relentless efficiency. When you only measure call handle time down to the second, or transactions per hour, you squeeze out any possibility for a genuine human connection. The trick is to stop measuring only what's easy
and start measuring what actually matters for the long-term health of the business. Stuff like customer loyalty, how well problems get solved, and how engaged your own employees are.
And the last piece of the puzzle is all about who you hire. Or maybe better put, who you select. The key is to stop hiring for a list of skills on a resume and start selecting for innate character traits. You can always teach someone how to use your software system. You can't really teach them to genuinely care about other people. The goal is to find people who are already wired for hospitality.
So when you put all of this together, the mindset and the system, you're not just tweaking your customer service department, you are completely transforming your entire organization. And you're creating what might be the only truly sustainable competitive advantage left in the modern world.
Let's be really clear about what's at stake here. In a world with infinite choice, the greatest danger for any business is just becoming a commodity, totally replaceable. If your customers see your product or service as interchangeable with your competitors, you're left to compete on one thing and one thing only: price. And that is a race to the bottom.
So how do you escape that trap? This is it. By building real, actual, enduring human relationships. Anyone can copy your technology. Anyone can copy your app. But a culture of genuine, deep hospitality, good luck trying to replicate that. It builds a kind of loyalty that no price cut can ever beat. So that really leaves us with one big question, a question for you to think about. Look at the systems you work in every single day. Are they designed purely to complete transactions, or are they designed to create human connection? Because the answer to that question, well, that's everything. It will determine whether you're building something that's replaceable or something that's truly unforgettable.